The rays of sunlight slithered above the horizon. However, it was prolonged and menial this morning. It eventually made contact with the roofs in lonely Timber Street. No birds chirping. Something was amiss. It was strange. For such a high-traffic vicinity, dawn silence was practically unheard of. And where did the farmers, marching uniformly like ants, the clerks gazing at their ticking wristwatches, the wage slaves sulking in their inadequacy, the cops and robbers playing cat and mouse, and the black paragons, suit and ties, circle-jerking to their psychopathies go? Winter was fast approaching, and migration was on the rise. There were sensible explanations. However, something was truly off. A bottomless silence engulfed the air. No cars revved, honked, or skidded, which was startling, as this had no good reason. The air itself tells a different story. It hasn't perched on its branch this morning. Routine and expected, yet the ominous current somehow swept it away. But its presence continued to emanate in every direction with undying magnitude. A seismic-inducing evil persisted. Those fiendish bastards. His mind was blank, brisk, metallic, stone-cold like the follicles of every wind. In a deep abyss, one cannot help but look down. The eyes, both. You could see the gray in them, blind as bats, empty beyond black itself. Poor boy. Those fiendish bastards. Is that all you have for me, internal monologue? Something clicked, and I remembered vividly. That evil spirit in that accelerant-doused log pile in that nostalgic pit we dug in that innocent time. Maxwell laid supine in his bed, with the sheet covering him from pelvis to toe. He had awoken from a slumber, greeted by the eerie silence engulfing Timber Street. He figured something was off, but he couldn't pen the words to it. Simply, it had to be something beyond his brain's limited capacity. Although it certainly propelled a vigorous curiosity to investigate it, as it just was too strange to ignore. It wasn't a neighborhood with happy hours to spare in which silence would suffice. No, it was a bustling street. It must be that thing in the fire, Maxwell posited. How could it be explained in any other way? That bastard is onto something. He removed his sheets, clinging tightly onto him, as if recognizing the unsettling atmosphere likewise. His pack of Newports was still in the 9 o'clock direction. He always took this as a sign that he was in reality, as for the voracious lucid dreamer he was, it was his quote-unquote reality check. And it never changed, even by an inch, always in the same spot from which it resided. The chilling air propelled a strong need to begin his morning ritual before breakfast, which afterwards would have been the usual time of preference for the primer death stick of the day. The clouds eclipsed the sun briefly, amid which he lit the end of the death stick with military precision, and this time it was misdirected twice. Perhaps, in a brief instant, perturbed by the silent surroundings, I'm feeling like a straight-jacketed dog in a white padded cell. Maxwell uttered under duress. Just calm down, son of a bitch. It was a thing his mind ought to adjust to. Those fiendish bastards. His words escaped between drags from the kindled death stick between his lips. Before long, he grew bored of the same old roaming, and that's when he smothered the butt in the ashtray. Stretching both arms, yawning temperately, he got to the dresser for his choice of outfit today. This shall do, he determined. First thing in the morning, when the sky is clear and the air is calm, means a fresh start. Now, what articles match tranquil morning vibes? Aha! He interjected, watched by his reflection in the mirror. His collared shirt and most dapper jeans, the shirt's mahogany hue, royal blue jeans, black calf-length socks, and coffee brown beanie, all of which matched the rest. A positive result indeed. Sigh. Oh, how long it's been since I thought about what I wear. That reminds me, I wonder how the others are. I'll meet at last night's pit. Coffee and breakfast are first. Ah, and come with the pipe and goods for the special occasion. Darius spawned from slumber in dreary, zombie-like sleep inertia. He coughed, grunted, paused, and wiped his eyelids and lashes of nightly moisture, during which he spat out the 8 spiders he swallowed sleeping. They didn't move, clearly deceased. It didn't spook him a bit, as is the norm living in an alcoholic's old dingy den populated by spoiled food and empty Jack Daniels bottles laid sideways upon every square inch of flooring. Roaches feasting away at unwrapped Chinese takeout boxes, and bald-legged rats rummaging for termites in creaky ebony masonry walls stitched thinly together by moth-eaten portraits of happier times. The drunkard of a father was snoring on his rocking chair across the boob tube and rabbit ears, still playing the news on a loop, drowned out by a lack of interest from Darius because his worries centered around the big day. Why did I agree to this criminal act? What would Ma think of this? The boy brooded over tears. Like clockwork, he shrugged it off and went about his morning ritual, dressing in yesterday's attire out of sheer laziness, brushing away the new poison, booze, bottles off the floor, masking a pathway to the kitchen, whipping up 2 slices of peanut butter toast, brewing a cup of parsimonious instant coffee, and glazing in the eyelids of his father slumped in the rocking chair before stepping outside towards Timber Street. Paisley rose from the basement, dust-covered flooring, simultaneously recognizing something off that she couldn't explain through mere words. Paisley, thinking back to yesterday, pictured that crow perched on the sycamore in their yard, and felt even more off, sensing the greater peril on the horizon, as she couldn't bring out the words to her brother, whom she wasn't aware of, had already caught a glimpse of himself. From trepidation, the foreboding emotion she tried desperately yet failed miserably to bury. Moreover, the witch, their mother, seemed asleep, as evidenced by the lack of cacophony from the walls bordering her room, which was atypical since she religiously awakens at the crack of dawn. Paisley met eyes with the distant, blurred background from spacing out briefly, and agreed to herself that today would somehow be estranged entirely from any other period in her life, gulping as a fruitless means to soothe her chilling comfort. "Wes! Hey, Wes!" Paisley quietly said as she tapped on Weston's shoulder, but he wouldn't budge. She impatiently rushed to the basement sink, where a conveniently filled bucket of dirty old water sat on the drain. She gingerly carried it a few yards back to her brother and dumped the waste, saturating him in a brown, gooey deluge. "Arg! Who the fuck Paisley ya be at?" "Cut the shit, Wes," Paisley asserted, using force to restrain the raging beast until his episode subsided. She thought his eyes looked like raging balls of red rings of fire spinning like a whirlpool, and his jet-black irises darkened oceans. "We got business to deal with, so save the drama queen act for another day. Maxwell told us today. Wes, don't forget." Weston scoffed and snapped out of his fury spell. A minute later, he conceded to his sister, albeit to a stubborn disliking. Taking a deep, embittered breath, he rolled his eyes childishly before clearing his throat. "K, sis, I'm calm. K? But don't dare pull that kind of shit on me again, aight? Wes, you know I had no other choice. We're on the clock. You want to miss out on another opportunity to get our revenge? Or what? Sleep until 3, smoke more crystal, and masturbate for 12 hours per usual? Of course not, sis. I ain't about that now. However, I was sleeping off this wicked come down, or at least trying to. Think I smoked too much shit yesterday, you know? Sure, you're not gonna get it. Unlike Maxwell and I, we're suffering at early bird hours. We need at least till noon to snap out of it, you feel? Frowning, clearly displeased by her brother's sheer laziness, Paisley retorted, "Wes, your ice addiction isn't my concern. Stop being such a baby. And you wonder why you weren't your mother's favorite. Ever. In the history of ever. You're a sloth. It's so pathetic. Now get up, because we need to leave pronto. Looking at my watch, it's already brunch hour, 10:15, which means we'll be late at this rate. Does that mean anything to you, Wes?" Do you honestly care anymore? Fine, I get it. Jeez, she's bitching like mom for real. Two identical twins in terms of personality and shit. Weston followed his sister to the wooden door leading out of their prison. It was up about 10 steps of stairs and led into the main hallway connecting the kitchen and bedrooms, as their house was a one-story house. Weston took the honors on the first attempt at the knob. Huh? What the... Argh! The damn thing won't fucking budge! Weston continues desperately pulling the handle. Paisley, seeing this, figures it all out. Hey! Wes, stop that right away! You're gonna break the damn handle! Weston quickly responds, Nada, sis. I almost got it. I can feel it. Hear that? It's nearly undone. Stop that! Paisley anxiously shouted. You'll bust the knob before we can get it open. I'm serious. Now quit that. I can see it coming loose. Weston stops, albeit frustrated by his almost quote-unquote successful effort, at least according to him. But Paisley proved correct when she swiftly pointed out the screws loosening from Weston's frantic pulling. The knob would have indeed separated in seconds if not for her intervention. Fuck! So she locked us in for good this time. Fucking biatch! The two stand with their hands in their pockets for a few moments, thinking over their next move, until Paisley, with her eagle eye, spotted a glass window near the sink. Aha! Found it! Huh? Weston confusedly pressed. Dummy, look over there! Paisley points towards the window, displaying the grass from the front yard. Weston, embarrassed and bending to his knees in defeat, sheepishly looks in the same direction before beaming in the eyes with insurmountable joy. Yes, you're right. God damn it, sis. You know how to remain calm in the tightest of spots. You should heed my words more often, dummy, Paisley scorned under her breath. They moved in unison to the glass window. Abruptly interrupting the ambient tranquility in the room, Weston smashed it hastily using a couple of spare buckets left in the drain. It took 5 seconds to crack open. Weston brushed off the weakened glass with his bare hands and jumped straight out like a wild hyena. Paisley laughed as if the most predictable action occurred right in front of her. She remarks, Ah, yes, the boy on steroids hops out like a little scary cat, huh? Ah, shut up, sis. I'm glad we out of that shit pad for a day. Now how about you pull yourself out of there? Don't want those rats feasting on you. Paisley learned carefully that her brother put on some garden gloves conveniently on the sink counters and swiped away at the shards of glass. She could see shards poking out of her brother's limbs. She crawled out and picked them from his skin, ignoring the whines from him. Oh shit, damn it, cut it out! Hey, I'm saving your ass, Paisley rebuked. Have a little more face sometimes, capiche? Weston shrugged childishly, then both stopped to collect their breaths, until moving forward along the Timber Street sidewalk relative to their house. Their visages morphed into childlike surprise upon witnessing the vacancy of the street. Perched upon a sycamore branch, the black silhouette observed the grisly riders walk their separate paths along Timber Street to the site of convergence. It squawks, witnessing the discomfort within each, curling its stick-shaped feet along its branch.
What a lovely specimen for today,
it commented.
I shall have my fun with them.
It once again departs the sycamore branch, the very one it introspected on earlier concerning quote-unquote bringing the others. It slyly followed the clues teens to a branch several yards from their meetup site, where it observed and stirred the bonfire embers that provoked the endless fears from within.
They shall enjoy